Hello everyone, welcome to the preview. It's Chelsea versus Manchester United. Chelsea chasing European football by a thread. Not sure if United are actually going to bother at all with this game. So some people might think, what's the point in you doing a preview? But come rain, sunshine, whatever you want to call it, we will be here supporting this club. So I asked the question, Sam, how do we balance these teams with such a big game on the horizon yet again? Because we do have a final coming up. So what happens with that?
You wrap all your important players in cotton wool, so you don't start them because there's nothing to gain from this game. Even if we win, get nothing. So wrap them all in cotton wool, keep them fit. Don't risk like we did against West Ham. Don't risk like players like Lenny Otto and he gets injured and now potentially not going to be fit for the final, who's a super important player. So don't risk the likes of Ahmad and Bruno and stuff like that in a game like this. It just doesn't make sense to me. So wrap them in cotton wool, give people who need minutes or people who are struggling for fitness, people like Shaw, people like Ericsson who's not played much, people like that, give them time, give them minutes because it's a nothing game at the end of the day. And I couldn't give a shit about it. In all honesty, I couldn't give a shit about it. So play whoever, just make sure the important players don't get injured for the final.
Yeah, one might forgive you for erasing that West Ham game from your memory. I don't blame you because I would rather forget that myself as well. Do you still think a win against Chelsea team near the top 4 spots though could give us confidence in terms of going into the final, in terms of momentum? And because the last thing you want to do, and then we said this, I feel like we said this before, fucking 5 of the last games, is lose badly before a final, confidence-wise.
I don't even think the score matters because, like, we only got beat 2-0 by West Ham, but the performance was on another level of
worst
like
of the season.
dreadful.
Do you think? I'm trying to think of others.
I'm struggling to find another one that I felt that bad after a game with. Like that was up there. That was really bad. So yeah, it don't even like say we got beat 4-0. I don't think I'd feel as bad as it did after that West Ham game because the performance was so fucking terrible.
It was flat, wasn't it?
And then we could get beat 1-0 by Chelsea, but have an even worse performance than West Ham. And do you know what I mean? So the score is irrelevant to me. It's the performance. That's what bothers me. I don't like lose it. Nobody wants to lose. Like I want to win every game. I want United to win every game. But if you go down fighting or there's a lucky penalty or a VAR decision, you can sort of live with that because you're like, well, we're in the game, we tried, didn't go our way, fair enough. But when you just don't show up, like that's just unacceptable, which is what happened last weekend. Like that's just unacceptable on any level.
Yeah, Amarin's quotes after the game were quite telling, weren't there? And not only just that, the 491 interviews that he's conducted on top of that as well.
I thought you were trolling when you put that in the chat. I was like, there's no way he's done 491 interviews. And then I saw the actual like report and I was just like, fucking Christ. That's ridiculous.
I mean, he's been through the ringer. I was just looking back at some of the games since he's took over. He took over Ipswich Town, won it, I think, the first game that he played, which is a 1-1. But since then, you've had a 3-0, 4-3 loss to Tottenham, sorry, a 3-0 loss to Bournemouth, a 2-0 loss to Wolves, Newcastle spanked us 4-0, Brighton beat us 3-1. I mean, there are so many you go through there where you just like so many bad performances. Which is why I say, like, maybe not the result. Maybe you're right in what you're saying there. Maybe it's not like about, okay, if Chelsea beat us, it's understandable in a sense where it's like they're quite near, they're fighting for Champions League football. We're basically the runt of the litter. But actually being competitive and toe-to-toe and running the yards and putting the fight and effort and things like that, I think that's definitely something I'd like to see. But whether we get it or not, it's a different conversation, especially if it's a heavily rotated team as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends who plays. Like, and you look at Chelsea, they've got some really quality players, but they've been hit and miss this season. There's been a lot of players, like Cole Palmer's not showed up for what, about 15 games?
No.
Like, he's just not been there, like, at all. So you're like, where's he been playing? Obviously, Sancho can't play against us. Nicola Jackson suspended for elbowing the dude in the face.
Correct.
And then Enzo Fernandez, hit and miss. He's been bits and parts and stuff like that. And Cuckoo's been completely ostracized from the team. Like they're just not even on the bench. So yeah, it's been a weird season for Chelsea. But again, we've been so bad that you could easily see him just turning us over, couldn't you? Because we've been that bad. So
yeah. Well, the last game, which seems like a lifetime away, finished in a 1-1 draw. A lot of these games seem to finish at 1-1. I remember being at a game where they played. I think Chivy was at the same one where Ronaldo scored, or I think Casemiro set up Ronaldo, and that was a 1-1.
I remember the Stamford Bridge one with the last minute Casemiro goal.
Oh, the Casemiro. I thought he was going to go for the
Sancho
one, is it? Where he scored? Like, he could have squared it to Rashford.
Is that one as well? Yeah.
But they pitch it off Jorginho, don't they, in the middle, and then counter attack.
Yeah. There was the Casemiro one when he heads it and he jumps in the crowd. And then there was that weird game where we were up, was it 3-1 we were up? And then we lost 4-3 with a Cole Palmer.
Yeah, last two goals in the last 2 minutes. So
yeah,
that was it.
Which was just insanity. I've never seen anything like that. So yeah, there's been some weird games against Chelsea.
That was either Wan-Bissaka or Dalot fucking up at when the corner got put in, wasn't it?
I think it was Dalot.
And then Palmer just absolutely punished us. Weird that we've got Sancho on the flip side of that coin now. I'm guessing he's not eligible to play against us, right? With him being on loan, I'm pretty sure. Which, I mean, it won't matter anyway because he's a bag of shit. But there is that...
They also want to send him back, apparently.
Like, yeah, well, I was just about to say that. There's rumours about this now, isn't there, that they're going to pay the $5 million compensation, which says a lot about him. How do we solve that problem now if he comes back in the summer?
Can we release him from the contract? Can we do that?
Like, do you think Amorim would ever consider reintegrating him at all?
No, his mindset is you have to work hard. Your attitude has to be like you spoke in thingies, Andy. Like you have to eat right, sleep right. You have to show up, show respect. Sancho does none of that shit. He doesn't do any of that shit. So there's no way Amorim is standing for it. That side, like if you just looked at his ability and the position he plays in, he'd probably fit really well into this system. But his attitude just stinks. Like he's got rid of Rashford for similar stuff. He dropped Garnacho for similar shit. He got he doesn't stand for that sort of stuff. So can't imagine Sancho all of a sudden becoming the ultimate professional. It's not happened by, what is he, 24, 25? It's not happened by now. It's not happening. So,
I see Sancho as another one of them Lingard stories, like it's just like he's got the ability and they'll have the odd moment in a shirt where they'll do something and you think, oh, there's a flash of brilliance there, he might be back, and then it's the same old again. You know, overhyped, overpaid. And I think that could end up being another problem amongst the pile of problems that we already have at this club. On the opposite way, we have Garnacho, who's been a name who's been linked with Chelsea quite heavily as well, and it seems like there are reports they might go back in for him as well as Napoli. Do you think he'd do well there, the current setup they've got, Garnacho and the Maresca? Well, even if Maresca's still there, I'm not sure, but him going there, do you think that would make sense, or can you see him doing well?
Yeah, like I think if you play with like active wingers, which Chelsea do, like you've got Madueke, you've got Sancho, you've got I forget the other guy.
Neto.
What was it? Neto, that's the guy. If you play with active wingers, you get down the byline, who like to cut inside and get a shot off, which is Garnacho all over. I think he'd work really well in that system. I think it suits him down to the ground, which is it's a very similar system to what Ten Hag used to play, which is why he was so effective for Ten Hag with that front three. I think the inside 10 is a struggle. We've seen moments from him under Amorim, but not enough consistency. And I just think if you went to, say, a Napoli where Kvaratskhelia was playing, he'd light it up. I think at Chelsea he'd do really well, but obviously Chelsea has this weird dysfunction. So even good players got like Cole Palmer's just dropped off the face of the earth, like we've touched on. And Neto, who's a really good player, can't quite get into the team and stuff. So it's a weird team. Like it's a really weird team. I think Napoli would be his best opportunity. I think if you went to Napoli, he'd smash it. I think he'd be absolutely phenomenal in Serie A for Napoli. I think that's his ideal destination.
And you'd much rather him go to another league rather than...
Yeah.
If we go back to Stamford Bridge, you know Garnacho's going to score, don't you?
Oh, yeah. He's doing an overhead kick, and that's what
and then sitting on the boards and doing all this. And you can just see it a mile off. Right, let's give the viewers some fun facts. Chelsea have won just one of their last 14 Premier League games against United. Drew 8, lost 5, though it was a 4-3 victory in this exact fixture last season. Man United have won just one of their last 11 Premier League away games against Chelsea. Drew 5, lost 5. A 2-0 victory in February 2020 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is just the second ever Premier League meeting between Chelsea and United on a Friday, following a 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge in August 2002. And the last one, Chelsea versus Man United, is the most drawn fixture in Premier League history. 27 draws we're looking at here. So, I mean, you'd take a draw right now, wouldn't you?
I'd take a draw, but I think we're going to break that record. I don't think the
For
draw's
sure,
happening in this one.
for sure. But I would take a draw, 1-1. No one get injured. Go into the final on Wednesday. Chelsea themselves, you touched on it before, they're without Nicholas Jackson, they're out with no Nkunku, no Reece James as well. So they're not exactly at full strength, but I mean, it's not as if they've got a fucking wealth of players to choose from in their squad. They've got about 60 players.
Also, Reece James is what's his availability rating normally? It's about
like Shaw, innit?
1 in 10. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. However, they are 2 points behind Manchester City, 3 points behind Newcastle. So, I know the defeat to Newcastle last week, whenever it was, or the weekend, was pretty damaging to them, but they're not out of the race at all. There's still another team that could lose above them, and they could still end up in Champions League football. So I imagine at Stamford Bridge, against a vulnerable United, they are going to proper go for it. And Cole Palmer had been in bad form up until this point. The past couple of games, he's looked like he's getting back to himself. Which isn't the best, but yeah, he's one who you have to lock down in it, Sam, and one who you always get those players who are either linked with United or from the area who have those performances in it against us. And you mentioned one before with him scoring a couple against us as well.
Yeah, he is like when we had our friend Carl Anker on, and he was asking like what players are United players that Fergie would have signed. That's one. That's one right there. Cole Palmer. He would not have let him slip through the net and like not signed him. Like, so yeah, he is. When he's on it, he's one of the most dangerous players on the planet because he can pass, he can create play, he can score goals. He has an eye for like space, and like he's just got everything you want. And he's super young, and he's got a very nonchalant attitude about it, which I like as well. Like he's just very unasked and unfazed about everything.
So Bruno, isn't he, a little bit? Isn't it?
Yeah, just got zero emotional outburst. It's just like very calm. So yeah, he's a very, very good player. I would love to have him in a United shirt. I adore, like, his whole family are Reds. He's from Wivenshaw. He's apparently a United fan growing up. So yeah, I would kill for him in this team. It's a shame he's not been doing so well for Chelsea, because I do like to see players like that play well. Thought he didn't get enough minutes in the Euros. I thought he should have got way more minutes than he did for England.
That goal he scored as well in the final. Yeah. Oh my god, banger!
Yeah, he should have got way more minutes than he did. So I think there is a super talent. He's still young. Like, these young players will go through dips and troughs where they like have moments of not quite getting there. So I'm sure he'll be back on form. I just hope it's not on Friday. That'd be nice if we could just keep it off for another day. Like, that'd be all right.
Yeah, it's weird because the second half, he has dipped off slightly. But, I mean, even if you look at his stats this season so far, 15 goals and 10 assists, it's still not a bad return at all in 40 games.
Better than any of our forwards. So.
Yeah, the majority of them. So, yeah, he's obviously going to be a huge, huge threat, and you have to lock him down. So I'm interested to see who's in charge looking after him. In terms of the West Ham game, what was the biggest standout thing for you that you think that's what I'm worried about the most? What was it that... Because for me... I think the moment where Ugarte just kind of fell to the floor
and just gave up.
That for me was like, come on, lads. Like,
yeah,
the fight was the main thing for me.
That was the attitude of all the players, though, wasn't it? Yeah, the whole team just seemed like that. They just seemed like they weren't asked. Luke Shaw gave up on a few like 50-50s or like tackles or dispossessions he could have made, and sort of half-heartedly chased back. When it came to like at the other end, obviously we know the issues there. There was that people said it was a great save that Areola made, but I think Højlund should put his foot through it and should have just smashed it into the back of the net. I think that if you're a top forward, you're putting that in the back of the net, and it just seemed like his effort, because he just sort of casually side-footed it. I just think like the effort wasn't there. Yeah, lack of desire, lack of fight, lack of bite, no physicality, just. Everything we've been speaking about the whole season, really, isn't it? Like, they've just not showed up unless it's been a Europa League game. When in the Premier League, they just haven't shown any desire to do anything, and it's disturbing. I
think there's maybe warranted excuses if it's players like Majrari, for example. So on our news ticker at the moment, it says it's a quote from him in an interview, basically saying that his first season at Man United in the Premier League, he's played a lot more minutes than he usually does. Obviously, he's had periods where he's been fasting during that and playing a full 90 minutes. No winter break, because obviously Bayern Munich have a winter break as well. So players like that look kind of like, okay, it's kind of forgivable. You understand he's completely run into the ground. Amarin's literally said he's dead. Like, so he was
and then he played him. He said he was on the red line and then played him against West Ham.
Yeah.
Like, why?
So, but
What
then
was
it
the
seemed
point?
like every player was like that, though, didn't it? It seemed every player was on the red line, and again with players like Bruno, I can forgive it. Well, did Bruno even start actually against West Ham? Did he start?
Yeah. He started. Yeah,
Did he
yeah.
start? So yeah, players like him, I can forgive because he's played a lot of minutes. But other ones who have come into the team, like, where's the sense of grabbing your opportunity when it's there? Especially some of the youngsters as well. Like, I quite liked Amas and a couple of others who came in, and I don't want to go in too much on them because they are young kids. But
Yeah.
there's your opportunity right now. Like, whilst United are at a vulnerable point, whilst we've got this huge priority in the Europa League, you're getting opportunities and you've got to take them. Because if you don't, we're going to do a massive overhaul of the squad anyway in the summer, and you'll be shipped out on loan or what have you. So I was just surprised at the lack of appetite against West Ham.
It seems like there's certain players who are just like not up for the fight and just think it's going to be the same thing where they don't do well, so the manager gets sacked and they get another contract extension, and
But they still win a trophy as well.
Yeah,
on top of
they
that.
keep coasting on, and it just seems like that's their thing, and it seems like it infects the rest of the squad as well. Like it gets into the youth players, and it gets into certain like the new players after a while just start dropping off as well. And it just seems like it's a virus in the team that just we can't get rid of. Like we keep getting rid of players who we think they're the issue, and it just remains, doesn't it? It's just like they've taught every manager, Jose, Van Gaal, Ole, Ten Hag, Ragnick, have spoken about there's something wrong culturally and mentally at United. Every single manager. That can't be a coincidence. That can't be a coincidence because there's new players that have come in, there's players that have left. There's something going on there that we can't quite put our finger on, and it's just killing everything like around it.
Yeah. The quality is a huge issue as well in it. You look at the midfield, like when we rotate, it's kind of like, do we have a midfielder that's the Casado level, like what he's doing for Chelsea at the minute? We don't. Do we have a forward in Bruno who that we're having to kind of split between games, who is the level of a Cole Palmer, for example, but we can't play him every game at the moment just in case he's going to get injured. Ahmad's only just come back from injury. He's one of our best players. But Chelsea, throughout the full team, I mean, they could bring in Romeo Lavia, who they spent 50 million quid on if they need to rest, like a Casado or something. They've got about 6 centre-backs that they can play. And obviously,
They got about 8 forwards as well. Like, they've got Neto, Sancho, Madueke. I'm sure there's like a couple of youth players as well that we could roll off the thing. So, and the only thing they don't seem to invest in Chelsea is buying a goalkeeper, which is weird.
Yeah, the goalkeeper shit in it.
Like,
Sanchez.
It's a weird. Like they had Azra Balaga, who was awful.
Yeah. They've had goalkeepers for a time.
And then Mendy, who is terrible.
Yeah.
And then now they've got like they just don't seem to want a goalkeeper. It's weird.
Yeah, where do you think the future lies for them next season? Obviously a lot of it depends on it, doesn't it, whether they get Champions League football or not. But I don't know, under Maresca, I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence about him because it seems to be a lot of Chelsea fans moaning. But they are only just behind Newcastle and City, so they can't be doing that bad.
I don't know what Chelsea fans want. I really don't. I don't know what they want.
You look at where we're at, and you're like,
yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, like they had that. Was it when Poch was there? That first part of Poch, they were proper bad. Like 14th or something, 13th.
Yeah, really bad. Yeah.
And then they had that late surge where things started to click, and he got them up the table. So I don't know. Like they won a Champions League a couple of years ago, which I would kill for at this point. Like I'd kill to win a Champions League. So I don't know what they want. Like you are in that. There were people talking about a title fight this year, early on in the year, weren't there? And they sort of fell away.
Yeah.
I don't know what Chelsea fans want. Like you're fighting for Champions League place. You're in the mix. Like
you've got good young players as well. Yeah. Like a lot of good young players.
Like I just think the way Chelsea is run is really
crap. That I agree with.
It's just terribly. It's just run like a cash and carry in it. It's just like right, buy these players for cheap and then sell them on for the thing. They don't really care about developing a star or creating a culture or anything like that. It's ran like a business, which is sad. But I don't know. Like, it also depends. I don't even know if Maresca's still going to be here next year.
You've said that quite frequently, haven't you, throughout the season?
I really don't. Like if the season ended and they let him go, would you be surprised?
No.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like he's
the
finished.
Big manager.
He's potentially finished in Champions League, and he could be sacked. It's mental.
If a big manager becomes available, I'd And Todd Bowley was like, oh, it might get a bit of a knee-jerk reaction. You know, especially if they don't qualify for the Champions League. They finish 6th or 7th. I think they might be like, we can get a better coach in. Who that is, I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised at all. Do you think they get Champions League football?
It's possible. It's definitely possible because City looked like they had a resurgence, and then they drew against Southampton, and they couldn't get a win.
Weird one, that wasn't it? That result.
Did you see Ruben Diaz, by the way, complaining, having a proper bit?
Yeah.
Fucking
Did
hilarious.
you see Southampton's TikTok, what they did?
No, what they did?
So they got that clip of the interview from Ruben Diaz saying they just sat back and did nothing, and they just played about 7 or 8 chances where they put it out of play or bad crosses, and did the like the circus music, like I was like, that is fucking class.
That social media guy needs a raise. Well done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just fucking bitching about like, they weren't where to play. Your job to break them down, mate. Like you've got a couple £100 million squad, and they've got they're relegated. It's your job. Break them down. If you can't, that's your fault. It's not their fault. Like,
speaking of City, sorry to think. Speaking of City, I'm so surprised they let Palmer go. As well, you look at like De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva and that moving on now. I think Cole Palmer could step right into one of those roles. It's perfect.
And they let him go and bought Julian Alvarez. It's like, you just save yourself money and you could have just put him there. And then obviously they sold Julian Alvarez for a lot of money, which, but like, he would have fit into this system.
45 mil sold Palmer for.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So weird.
Craziness, yeah. Right, ones to watch in this game. I'm not even going to do one for United because we don't really know what the team's going to be, and no one turned up in the last game, so fuck that.
No.
I think we both agree Chelsea's Cole Palmer, right? I think would you put out there?
Yeah, because I think Nicola Jackson has been scoring, but obviously he's not playing. So
yeah. Pedro Neto is another one I would probably identify as well. Who's nippy player, very very dangerous.
Casido as well. He's been one of their best players.
One of the best midfielders in the league, I think, of this season.
You remember when he first started at Chelsea, though? He had a bit of a time, didn't he? Where he wasn't looking good. People, we've wasted 100 million, but now he's like stepped up, and you're like, okay, this is a really good player.
Looks really, really good. All right, quick fire questions. Will Cole Palmer score or assist, Sam?
Yes.
Who's better, Bruno or Palmer?
Right now, Bruno.
Overall, as a player, would you still say Bruno?
Yeah, but only just.
I'd say Palmer. You know,
I think
Palmer's a better player.
I think give it another year. I think I could have that conversation with Palmer.
Sorry, Bruno. Will Maresca be at Chelsea next season? That was one of the questions there as well.
I'm leaning towards no.
Who gets player of the match? Or again, is that an obvious rhetorical question?
It's not a United player, is it?
No.
I'll go Casido.
Yeah, fair play. Right, talk me through your team. It is on the screen. A heavily rotated team from Sam here, but go for it.
So I've just basically took out every single senior player that I can to basically go sit at home, do some rehabilitation, recovery, get yourself ready, stay warm for the final next week. That's what I've done. So I've taken everybody out. So I put Bayindir in, I put Mantato on the right, Fredrickson, Lindelof, and Shaw. Obviously, Shaw's still coming back from fitness, so get a few minutes in his legs. Take him off at half time if you need to. Put somebody else on, that's fine. Amas, left. Kone was in first team training today, heavily pictured, so maybe he's in line for a start.
Yeah,
that would be really nice. Ericsson, give him someone senior next to him, just to sort of like help him through the game. Obviously, Ericsson's not going to start in the final, I'd imagine, so give him some minutes. And then, I don't know whether Fletcher, Mainu, I don't know whether Mainu might be in the 8 and Ericsson might be in the 10. I don't know which way, but I've put them both in. Mainu and then Jack Fletcher, who he's been on the bench a hell of a lot of times. I've not seen him play yet, so I would like to see him come on. It could be Morehouse as well. I've seen him thrown around. So, I've one of those two, and then Cheeto up top because he can't play in Europa League, so might as well give him some minutes.
Do you think any of those players in the team play in the final, starting the final?
Sure, potentially.
No Euro or delay in training, was there, this morning?
No, but Euro went to the gym apparently, so he's not as injured as it might be previously reported. Yeah, Shaw potentially. Mainu's not been great, has he? He's not been great, so I wouldn't say he's got.
I'm worried about him.
Yeah. But yeah, Shaw would be the only one out of that where I'd say he potentially could start in the final.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
We'll see.
I've gone for a slightly stronger team. I've gone Lindelof, Maguire, and this is just purely off the basis I don't want to get pumped by Chelsea. Bayern in net, although I really don't rate. I think if anything's been shown from him this season, it's like he ain't ready for a number one spot. Definitely not. But he is a second choice goalkeeper, and he has played a few Premier League games recently, so I think he'll be in net.
Put Tom Heaton in. Fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah,
put Tom Heaton in if you want.
Yeah, why not? So yeah, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, and then I think they'll probably get substituted at half time maybe for a youngster. Dorgu and Amas as your wing backs, Mainu and Ugarte in the midfield, because that seems to be the partnership whenever we have kind of second string team, and then Garnacho, Mount, and Cheeto. Mount is the one that I'd probably look at that. I don't know, because again that's one that you like. You really want Mason Mount for a final in particular. I think
risky, innit? It's risky.
He is very risky.
So yeah.
Last thing you want is him going down, because I do genuinely think he can have an impact on that game. And Garnacho, I think he got rested in the last game. I'm pretty sure he got rested.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So yeah, I think he'll be okay to go. And then Cheeto, I think Cheeto should get an opportunity, but yeah.
I think you'll probably see Garnacho, like my team, you'll probably see Garnacho come on at some point in the second half to give him those minutes in his legs, and you'll probably see the same with Mount to give him minutes in his legs, and maybe Ahmad as well.
Yeah.
Just to sort of make sure they're ticking over and they're ready for that final. But yeah, I Mount could be really important. I think he had a really good. Do you remember when we played Spurs when we on the 10? He had that decent game, didn't he? And that's when he went off, and you were like, and then we just got destroyed by Spurs after that, didn't we? And he had an all right game. So I think he could, especially with all the injuries that are happening to Spurs at the minute. I think Mount could dictate that little space in there. So yeah, I don't know. It's risky playing him.
Just for context of that as well, Spurs, no James Maddison, no Bergvall, no Kulusevski. I think he's out of the final as well, and I'm sure there was one more player as well.
There's doubts over Son as well. And stuff.
So on that front, it's looking good. Just hopefully our players can pull through, because De Ligt's kind of touch and go at the minute. He'd be really important. I just don't want that back line to be Maguire, Lindelof, and Shaw. I just really don't want it to be that.
Nope.
I need to see Euro De Ligt in there. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for that. Right, let's do the ultimate score prediction. Just getting near the 30-minute mark. I'm just going to say off the bat, Chelsea 3-1, I think.
I've gone a little more positive. I go Chelsea 2-1.
Okay. Well, either way, we're getting beat.
Yeah. We ain't winning. We ain't winning. I'll take a draw. I'll happily take a draw, but we ain't winning this game.
Yeah. Sorry to end the show on a negative, but it's the reality situation that we're at. Like, people are like, let's get past this game and then all focus on Wednesday. That is a massive game. The world quite literally is going to be watching that game. I think the figures for that will be massive.
Yeah. But our whole summer and next season depends on this game. Like everything. Like Amarin's future, the transfers that we could get in, the finances, how we rebuild, all of that. It all depends on that one game. Yeah. So the pressure is immense. And it's the same for Ange Postecoglou. If he doesn't get through it, he's probably out of a job. He could potentially be out of a job even if he wins it with the state of things.
I think he is.
So yeah, it's all or nothing for both of us.
Yeah. Both teams going into it with injuries. Both teams near the bottom of the table. I mean, we're probably going to end up finishing lower than Spurs just because of the games that we got left. We've got Villa and Chelsea, haven't we? So it really is going to look like a miserable season for either one if they don't. I mean, it's been bad anyway, but it looks really bad, doesn't it? If it just says at the end of the season, Man United 17th, you're like, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. But anyway. Right, we'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you all tuning in. Get your teams in the comments section and your score predictions as well, and even get involved in the quickfire questions if you want to. Subscribe to the channel, check us out on socials, and me and Sam will see you guys in the next one. Peace.